What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Fresh and Fit have had a very rough week, and that is because Fresh and Fit got demonetized. But I want to deal with the behavior that got them demonetized. And again, I'm not jumping for joy because they got demonetized. I don't like Fresh and Fit. I definitely ain't losing no sleep because they got demonetized, but I'm not happy they got demonetized. I want to prove a point. Their delusion and unaccountability and failing to see the real world in reality as it is, that's what got them demonetized. Because they were living off their own buffoonery. Okay? Now, I'm going to prove to you they haven't learned their lesson. Fresh and Fit, despite getting demonetized, and even before then, they were hanging around people that got kicked off the platform a lot. Sneeko, Andrew Tate, Nick Fuentes, crazy people like Zerka, whatever, right? But they were getting ready to interview this guy, FouseyTube. Now, FouseyTube is he's a wacko creator. Something is wrong with this guy. Recently, he faked his own hostage situation. He swatted himself in a Miami hotel room right before going to Fresh and Fit podcast. And he got his ass arrested, okay? But I want you to hear the history of what this guy does, and then we're gonna come back.
Oh man, FouseyTube essentially released himself. The police showed up and arrested him, and he was just live streaming it all. How did we even get here? Well, FouseyTube's been relevant on the internet for over a decade, but over the span of the last 5 to 6 years, he's essentially just been in self-destruction mode. The first time I covered him was probably back in 2016 when he had the whole fake fight with Rice Scum. This was a part of one of his lame social experiments to prove that commentary channels talk about what's currently happening. Congratulations, you got us. What made that video especially weird was he was just continuously awkwardly touching Rice Scum throughout the entire video.
Oh no, the next step is gonna be me.
I feel like it was pretty clear that Rice Scum did not want to be there. I feel like FouseyTube is the supreme leader of awkward moments on the internet. But not too long after that, he started spiraling. He had multiple breakdowns, with the largest one being the July 15th incident. This is where he randomly decided to throw a concert. He claimed Drake was going to show up. Nobody believed him, so he then went on like this massive media tour to prove everyone, hey, Drake's coming. He was really going for the whole manifestation thing. And then to no one's surprise, when July 15th came around, Drake did not show up. So then probably one of the weirdest moments in YouTube history happened, because he still had that crowd that originally showed up for Drake just hanging around there in the parking lot. So he then paid this random guy, or well, he told a guy that he was going to pay him like some absurd amount of money if he could climb up on top of his van. That's the guy in the back here who you can see is doing the I am never going to financially recover from this if he doesn't pay me stance. Well, then on top of the van, he essentially just spiraled out of control for several minutes. And then we found out the whole reason he had this event was because he wanted to debut his new song, which was a Rice Scum diss track. I'm not joking. And then he performed it on top of some random dude's van. I hope that guy got it.
So as you clearly see, he's been doing this type of shit for years, okay? And how do you explain that type of behavior? There's only one way to do it. Let Fresh and Fit explain how you can do it.
He's going through a lot as well as a creator. I mean, if you look at it, most people that are on YouTube or, for example, on Twitch or even Kick or Rumble, they are looked at as superhumans because you can do no wrong and you have to always abide by, people's opinions.
Yeah.
But in reality speaking, as a creator, you're a human being.
Yeah.
You're going to mess up. No one's perfect. So I think he made some mistakes, of course, as we did as well.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's trying. So
yeah, and I can tell you guys this, right? We've had a pretty tough week.
Yeah.
And I can absolutely empathize with what he's going through. We're going through it as well. Everybody deals with their problems in different ways. And yeah, I mean, you don't kick people when they're down, and that's not the intention of this podcast. We're actually simply going to bring awareness to it. And I think, and there's a bunch of you here in the chat, guys, that are probably going through a tough time in your life as well. And, I think this is a galvanizing force for us to come together and talk about these things in a situation where there's not going to be any judgment, and we can go ahead and actually speak openly about it. And I think that's why I think content like this is so important, because we need more male spaces like this, right? We don't have a lot of male spaces like this where guys can talk about their problems and everything else like that.
Now, I want you to listen to the excuses that they're making for this guy. Mental health is real. We shouldn't judge men. Men need help. All of that, which I do believe that men need help. We all need help as men. There's no denying that. But see, what we're not dealing with here is something that is very important. Very important. We're dealing with the fact, and listen to what I'm telling you. This guy makes millions of dollars a year. All right? If, for whatever reason, he had problems, okay, or issues, all that he needs to do with the money that he has, listen to what I'm saying. All that he got to do is pay to get some help. He can afford it. All right? He can afford it. There is nothing with the money that he has he can't afford. The guy can make $3, $4, $5 million in a year. And for what they tell me, he just lost himself a big deal on Kick. The problem is, why doesn't he want to get the help he needs? Because maybe he ain't crazy after all. Maybe he not suffering from mental health. Because if you don't want to get the help, then you don't want to get the help. But the problem is, if this was a woman or anything like that, they would say, you know what? She needs to get some help. That's the problem where I see in the red pill. Because in the red pill, clearly, we defend people that can't be defended in these communities. Can't be defended. You can never defend somebody who is, listen, on purpose. You are sitting back saying, I'm in a hostage situation for views. He does this all the time. There is nothing crazy about that. It is deliberate. Okay? If he was crazy, he would have got demonetized off of YouTube. Oops, like Fresh and Fit. He hasn't done that. Why? He's not stupid enough to do that. That's why. Don't get it twisted, bro. He's not dumb enough to lose the bag like that. The only person that's dumb enough to lose the bag is Fresh and Fit. But he isn't. All right? He knows what he's doing. Clearly he does. And he don't have no problem with it. So why don't we just call it for what it is? All right? These guys know what they're doing. And the issue is, these guys are out here defending it. Just like they defended their own buffoonery as to how they got demonetized. This is what they're doing. It's ridiculous. You can't even make light of it. And this is exactly why they haven't learned their lesson. How are you young men out here talking about accountability in the red pill? Women need to submit to somebody like you. Imagine being in a relationship with men like this. You never think you're wrong. Till this day, Fresh and Fit don't see whatever they did was wrong. For the most part. Others are the problem. Then you're talking about women's unaccountability. Look, we know that women are chronically unaccountable for what they do. Clearly. But one thing I cannot stand, is for men to sit back here and make excuses for their mistakes. We just cannot deal with it in society. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't deal with it. And these guys are over here simping for a guy who's a multi-millionaire and who knows what he's doing. He understands what's happening. And he needs help. No, he can afford all the help he can if he wanted to. These guys don't want any fucking help. They don't. They do whatever the hell they want. They just want to get away with whatever they got going on. These guys are ludicrous, family. They know exactly what they're doing. These guys are not slick. They know what they're doing. They have every idea about what they're doing. Everybody knows that. But guys, we think it's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe with the bell. We're out.